Welcome to my Fire Emblem 6 Let's Play. My name's Ben. This is the first Let's Play of any kind that I've done, but I thought I would give it a shot. Originally I was planning on doing Fire Emblem 7, because that's the game that I'm more familiar with. I've played it a bunch of times. But I played it on actual Game Boy Advance, not on an emulator like I'm doing now, and it's a lot easier to record on an emulator, and so I downloaded the ROM for 7, but it didn't occur to me that I would have to play through all the tutorial again, which is just like, I mean, it's not hard, it's just like I didn't feel like devoting the time to doing it, so I figured I might as well just do a different game anyway. Also, I haven't ever played through 6 completely, so it would probably be more fun for me just because it's a new game. Yeah, so I've played 7 and 8, but yeah, never played 6, so I thought I would try it out. For those of you who don't know, that 6 is actually, so it was never released in the US, so what I'm playing right now is actually a translation of it. But essentially, it's actually the sequel to 7 in terms of like chronological storyline. So if you played 7, you may recognize some of the characters. Sorry. Also, when I say Fire Emblem 7, I mean it was just released as straight up Fire Emblem in the US. It didn't have like a number associated with it, so when I say 7, I just mean the first Fire Emblem that was released for the Game Boy Advance in the US. And when I say 8, I mean Sacred Stones. But yeah, let me get started, and I'm gonna give just a brief explanation of Fire Emblem for those of you who've never played it before. Essentially, it's a turn-based strategy RPG, or tactical RPG. Yeah, I'll just get started and explain as I go, but you can see I have not made any progress anywhere. Alright, so I'm not going to read the story out loud. You guys are literate, you can read. I always find it really annoying when people read the things on the screen, especially when they do like stupid voices, so I'm not going to do that. You guys can read for yourself. But yeah, basically, there was a war, dragons, yeah, we won, but then stuff happened, and now it's 1,000 years later. Victoria. Yeah, so basically there's these different nations. They're like not technically at war, but shit goes down eventually. Lycia is where I think things start for the story. If you played 7, that's where all the main characters are from, so yeah, they're just explaining the different places. Sake, never knew exactly how to pronounce that. That was where Lynn was from in 7. Occasional clashes. I mean, I guess while this is going on, I can just sort of explain generally how Fire Emblem works again, for those of you who've never played it. So yeah, like I said, it's a strategy-based, turn-based RPG game, so basically it's going to go in levels or chapters, and you're going to control a certain number of units on a grid, and every chapter is going to have a different objective. Usually it'll be something like, you know, just kill all the enemies, or seize the gate, which is like essentially the same as killing the boss, because the boss is going to be sitting on the throne of the gate or whatever. Here you'll recognize Roy if you've ever played Super Smash Bros. Melee. His character there. And this is the game that he's from. Son of Eli Wood. played, if you played Fire Emblem 7. There you go, there's the Marlin. Yeah, so you're going to control the units on a grid, and you go in turns, so you'll move all your units, then the enemy will move all their units, and essentially you're just trying to sort of set up, you know, tactical positioning to where you can kill the enemies without getting killed yourself, you know, as you would expect. And you're just trying to position them in an effective way. Alright, here we go. Every single Fire Emblem game always starts off with just like random bandits. I don't think this is actually the way that bandits typically structure their sentences, but this is like a translation, so they may be assigning to them more full dialogue than they would normally say. Yeah, so they say they're going to ransack the villages. You see what he just did there. So villages are places that you can visit on the map that usually they'll give you something, but if a bandit gets to it first, you can destroy it and then you can't go in there anymore. There's Merlinus, if you recognize him from 7. This character there. Olina is the daughter of Hector, also another character in 7. Those are the enemy units, and these are my meager bunch that I start off with. So you start off with a certain set number of units, and then over the course of the game you're going to acquire new units, and if one of your units dies, he's actually dead forever, so you sort of have to pick and choose ones that you're going to use to get strong to make sure that they don't die. You're also limited to the number of characters you can use on each level, so that's another reason you sort of choose a few characters and you level those up. So these are my 2 knights. Can't even remember their names. Oh, Lance and Alan, right? I forget which one's which. Like I said, I haven't played this particular game before. Alright, this is Lance, I guess. Typically, you'll get 2 knights and one of them will be sort of stronger, like higher attack power, and the other one will be faster or higher skill. Actually, I forget which it usually is. Higher skill just means like higher accuracy and some other things. There's Marcus. He's all old now. If you played 7, he was in 7. Alright, so there's a bunch of different types of units you can play with in these games. Roy is he's a lord, you can see. So a lord means that if he dies, then your game's actually over, as opposed to just losing the character. So he's like one of the main characters. So I guess different lords are actually different. Basically, Roy is just going to be like a swordsman until I promote him. That's one thing that happens in this game. You can use an item on a character once they get to a certain level, and it will promote their class, so they'll turn into something, the next level of their class. We have Marcus, who is, like I just said, he's a promoted class, so he's a paladin. A paladin is a promoted class. So you can see, if you look at these stats on the side, you'll notice that his numbers are way higher than Roy's. That's because he's a promoted version. You'll usually get a character like this, who's like really, really strong at the very beginning of the Fire Emblem games. And if you're just starting out, like, it may be useful to have them around, because they'll basically make it so that it's difficult for you to lose, at least for the first early levels. But I would recommend using them only when necessary, like really keep use of them for a minimum, because the game operates on a leveling and experience system. You see Roy is level 1. You notice that he's level 1 too, but when you promote a character, their level resets to 1. for purposes of leveling. So like you have a max level cap of 20, but if you promote them, then they can start leveling again. But yeah, so you since it operates on experience, there's only a limited amount of experience to go around. You really don't want to use these characters too much because they tend to sort of leech experience from everyone, and they'll get way less experience for killing enemies than your lower level units will. And Marcus really will not be useful later in the game because these characters tend to not scale well as the game progresses, so you really want to focus on leveling your other units. Also, in general, you're only going to want to focus on leveling a few of your units anyway, because, like I said, you're going to be getting more over the course of the game, and you really don't want to divide experience too much between all of them, because you're only going to be able to use a certain amount on each level. So I've sort of in advance chosen a few characters that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to focus on giving them the most experience that I can. So out of these characters, I'm going to be using Roy because he's a lord, and you're pretty much going to have to use him in a lot of cases. I'm going to use Alan, and I'm going to use Lance, and the rest of these characters I'm actually not going to use very much. I may use them just to sort of help out these early levels, but I'm going to try to minimize the experience that I give to them. Okay, so it starts off my turn. First thing I do, survey the map. There's a lot of enemies. One thing you can do is, since this is like a turn-based game and it's all the characters on a grid, you can click on an enemy and see the blue spaces are the spaces that they can move in, the red ones are the ones that they can attack to. So it's good to just look at all of them and see sort of what are the safe spaces to move. So you can see this character currently, he can attack my archer, Wolt. But no one else unless I move them. This guy, however, can attack both of these characters, Lance and Boars. So I've just got to be mindful of where I move my characters in terms of who they can attack. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of, you can see, it's okay, the terrain plays a role in this game. You can see this cliff here. I can't walk over that. You'll notice I can walk around it, but I can't like walk straight onto it, neither can they. So you can see there's sort of two sides on this cliff here. What I think I'm going to do is only go around the bottom part. A safe way to play this game is just to sort of let the enemies come to you and sort of make sure you fight them in like bottleneck locations, so you have like greater control over who you're using to fight them. So like it's better if, you know, they only have like maybe one option to attack of a person to attack, and it's the person that you want them to attack, as opposed to like right now, like my archer's kind of exposed. So I'm going to want him to move him out of that position, so that he won't be vulnerable to this guy. Because so Archer, he obviously has a range of 2, as most characters. When they have range 1, you'll see his red squares extend 2 squares away from his blue ones. So that means the red squares are the ones that he can attack. So, but if you attack an archer right next to him, then he can't respond. He can only attack 2 squares away. He can't attack 1 square away. Okay, so I've talked a lot. I'm just gonna start playing. Alright, so I'm gonna move. Alright, we'll start off with Roy. So I moved him there. You can see he turned gray after I moved him. So now he's the only one that can be attacked on this part. I'm just gonna sort of complete this kind of block off to really restrict their options. Move him there, and like I said, I want to move my archer out of the way. Wolt. These characters have names. It's important to refer to these characters by their names. You should become attached to them, because if you lose them, they're gone forever. So he's not just my archer, he's Wolt. Alright. Now it's the enemy's turn. So these numbers on the side, the hit is how much percent chance they have of hitting him, damage is how much damage they do, CRT is critical chance, so critical hits do double, triple damage, actually I forget, it's been a while. So you see both of these guys just walked up and attacked me, luckily they both missed, and I hit both of them, so that's good. So now there's all three here, let's see, I should be able to kill, so one element of this game is the weapon triangle. So you'll notice Roy has a sword, these guys all have axes, Lance has a sword and a lance, as would be appropriate, as is Alan. So swords have an advantage over axes, axes have an advantage over lances, and lances have an advantage over swords. So that just sort of increases your hit chance and damage. Actually, I'm not sure if it increases your damage. But yeah, basically you want to make sure you always take advantage of that triangle. So here you can sort of see in advance like what the battle will be like before you do it. That's a big important element of this game, is you need to really carefully plan everything out so as not to make any mistakes, accidentally lose a character or anything awful like that. So I see here Roy's only going to be dealing 9 damage, which is not enough to kill this guy. So I think what I'm going to do is just weaken him a little bit. Fold first. And then strike the killing blow. Bam. When you kill a character, you get more experience than just battling them. So. He will kill him straight up. He will also kill him straight up. Will not kill him. Will just barely not kill him. Let's see. Where can this guy attack? So it doesn't really matter which one of these I use on this guy. I guess. Just checking that. It's 96. Yeah, that's pretty much 100. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should take the guaranteed kill, since neither of these guys are gonna kill this guy anyway. Kill this guy, and likely damage them. I guess one thing to consider is maybe I should have gone for killing this guy with Alan, because if he killed him, he wouldn't get retaliated on. I mean, it didn't end up mattering because I didn't get hit anyway, but that would have been one thing to consider. So obviously, when you hit the enemy, they have a chance to retaliate, but not if they're dead. Alright, so I'm not going to advance any of these guys beyond my lines, because again, I don't really want them to be involved in combat that much. Alright. Attacks Roy, it's fine. Oh no, yeah. It's bound to happen at some point. I mean, they'll have like 40-ish% chance to hit me, but like, it happens. They attack enough to where it's likely that they'll hit at some point, even though each individual instance is not likely. So this is, like I was talking about earlier, this is a village over here, so I'm going to want to visit that at some point, because I'll probably get something out of it. Right now, this is pretty straightforward. This guy can barely even reach anywhere here, so I don't really need to worry about him. I think Roy can probably finish him off, yeah. And then I think I can be able to kill the archer with one or both of these guys, so that's just what I'm gonna do. 100% chance to kill, always nice. And I leveled up. Yay. So every time you level up you get semi-random stat boosts. So here I got strength and luck. When I say semi-random, different characters have different sort of stat growth potentials. So that's just like how likely they are to grow certain stats every time they level up. So you can get really unlucky and get no stats leveled up, or you can get really lucky and get like all of them. It's just sort of random. But, you know. Okay, so that's not a kill. Also not a kill, but both of them combined will be a kill. So I guess I'll give the kill to Alan. So I'll time the plants first. Oh no. Alright, well, I missed 92% chance to hit, which will happen. There's an 8% chance that will happen. So, I don't remember, this is not enough. So, I mean, it's not like super necessary that I kill him this turn, but I might as well just because, like, I want him to attack me next turn. So, I'm just gonna hit him once with Wolf too. Which is sort of annoying, I take an extra 6 damage by doing this, but I mean, he was going to attack someone regardless, so I might as well just have it be on my terms. Would have been a little annoying if he missed, but not the end of the world. Alright, and I think I'm going to move Marcus over here to visit this village, because that's about all he's doing for me. Hey, hey! Sorry, I said I wasn't going to read. See, they'll give food to me. Hey, money. They just said 5,000 received. They did not specify what it was. 5,000 juggling penguins. Oh, thank you. Oh god. That was weird. Okay. Sorry, it was just lagging a lot for a second. Hopefully that's done. Okay. This guy. What I'm doing now is just sort of looking. I'm trying to keep the experience distribution fairly even between the people